Good, whatever time you're viewing this, viewers. This is Jerry the YT here, and in a previous reading video, I told you guys that I had found a folder full of weird fanfiction on my laptop. Well, I had also suddenly remembered that my Nook had an entire store of creepypasta on it. Some of it good, some of it, well, not so good. Today we're going to be taking a look at one of the shorter ones, Thomas and the Children. Warning, this story is graphic! Now, I don't know who's the author to this because I'm pretty sure I copied and pasted these long before I thought to put an author to them, so if you're the author and you're watching this, let me know, I apologize. So here is the story. Ever hear of Thomas the Tank Engine? If you've been around little kids between the ages of 2 and around 7 or so, I'm sure you have. My son adored Thomas so much that he could name every single train, knew what color they were, and the number they had painted on them. I was glad when I heard that he was coming to visit me over the summer, but I had a ton of work to do, so I bought him a Thomas DVD. The cover looked innocent enough. Thomas was smiling, and the little wooden children were waving their arms out of the windows in his coaches. The DVD was called Thomas and the Children. He was so excited to see the DVD that, right off the bat, he pleaded with me to pop it into the DVD player. I went to work while he watched it. After a few hours, he came into my office, looking as pale as a sheet. "Daddy?" His voice seemed weak. "Are you okay?" I said. I touched his head and noticed that his temperature had gone up. "Why did Thomas kill the children?" My heart sank like a stone, but I soon brushed it off. "I'm sure Thomas didn't kill the children," I reassured him. "Now you need some rest and some medicine." I gently pushed him toward his room. "Come on now." After putting him to bed, I got curious as to what I had seen. I popped in the DVD and began to watch the episode play. There was no main menu like most DVDs. It just went straight to the episode. It seemed normal enough. Thomas was told to take a group of children to the seaside by the instructions of Sir Topham Hatt. I noticed something odd, though. There is no narrator in this episode. The episode then showed Thomas picking up the little wooden children and showed every single one of them climb on board. Then there was a scene with him zooming down the rails like he always did, and the children were cheering. But then there was trouble, as they say in the show. Bertie the bus was stuck on the railway tracks. This was when the episode got strange. Bertie stared up at Thomas in fear, but the little blue wooden train just smiled and sped up. What was even more disheartening is that he started laughing. The children were crying, and little tears could be seen painted on their faces. Thomas crashed into Bertie, causing pieces of both of them to go flying everywhere. Usually by now the narrator would say, "And luckily no one was hurt," but there is no reassurance for kids. The episode then showed the carnage on the inside of the coaches. Wooden limbs were broken off. What looked like actual blood had been splattered everywhere. Heads had been ripped from the bodies of the wooden dolls, and worse yet, the children still had tears upon their faces. Everything went to static. After that, I felt myself boiling over with anger. What sicko would create something that messed up for little kids? Then I paused the static. Messages started to appear on the screen. Disturbing messages like kill, obey, multiply, and die. I watched the static for over an hour and noticed at least 30 different messages. I threw the accursed thing in the trash after breaking it in half. I would not expose my child to any more of that trash. Before going to bed myself, I checked him. He was happily asleep and snoring, clutching his teddy. I had nightmares from this one where the children came into my room, but they were lifelike and as tall as a normal person. Their twisted forms grabbed my limbs and pulled me apart, while I heard that blasted train laughing. Now I have woken up, covered in blood, knife in hand, and I'm afraid to check my son's room. Well, this was one of those lost episode creepypastas. It had promise for a while, but then he actually watched the episode, and it went to shit from there. You know, if you ever get a weird DVD that has, like, crazy stuff on it, like crazy stuff that you wouldn't expect. Here's an idea. Call the police. Ugh. It would have been hard for this one because this one was just like a little fictional puppet show type thing, or whatever you can call Thomas, but still, you don't just break it and throw it away. You should keep it in storage. And the whole thing about him possibly killing his son, that's a little WTF. Just, it's a little out there. But if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Expect some more creepypasta and creepy fanfiction. Have a good day, God bless, peace, pacham, and bye.